Hi guys, it's the 17th of November 2018. The sun is shining this lovely November morning. The leaves are coming off the trees are getting bare, and we're on our way towards Christmas. That is Old Road Car Park opposite my flat of 6 Lansdowne Court. I live on the top floor, hence the view. Anyone on the bottom flat wouldn't be able to film the top floor, so I'm on the top floor. Over there is the Great Lions Heritage Park, and that's the War Memorial. It's a Saturday, so you won't find many cars in the car park because people have the weekend off. At that car park, most people commute to London. They leave their cars there and then commute to London. Right, let me sit down and right. As you can see, I've put some nice clothes on, some clothes I would put on as if I was going out. I wanted to cheer myself up. I don't go out anywhere. I haven't got a boyfriend. I believe there's someone out there for everybody. I was married for 18 years. I've had various on and off relationships and nothing's really worked out. I'm 50 years old, getting on a bit, so trying to find someone is extremely difficult at my age. I spend most of my time stuck indoors, and I'm getting a bit fed up being by myself all the time now. So I am actively looking for a relationship, not one off, no strings attached sex, just a proper relationship where I can sit down with somebody, watch the telly. But it's hard when you're 50. So the first thing I usually do is check my voicemails in the morning. 121, and there'll be a message from my mother. Um, so just can't hear that at all. Right, so that was Catherine from Town and Country. I had two garbled messages in response to my dating ads that I couldn't understand. It sounded like someone was mucking about. And that other one was my mother ringing to check I got home safely in the taxi yesterday because I went up to my parents at Durrell Gardens. I didn't do any videos or photographs or anything yesterday. I went straight up to my parents because I felt shitty. So I walked up to my parents, went into a shop first to get the Daily Mail newspaper in Luton Road, and then I walked up to Durrell Gardens, and there was Royal Mail postmen everywhere, Royal Mail vans. My mother Jennifer answered the door in a pair of turned up jeans stripy socks, gold shoes, and a low-cut black and white top. And my mother is balding on top. She's got grey hair and a rather large grey patch. She's got alopecia. So I walked into their living room. My father had no top on. He was bare-chested, nipples hanging out. He said, "You've arrived early." So he put his vest on, put his spectacles on. He was okay today. He didn't throw up and go to bed. He didn't go and go to bed. He put calm music on. So for about an hour, my mother and I and Dad were sat there with Natures of the Forest music, you know, rainfall. I'd been to Dr. Lupin's and he told me that he listened to waterfall CDs to help him go to sleep the day before. So Dad was sat there listening to sounds of the rainforest, and I started to nod off, and even Mum said, "You're going to sleep." Then Dad put some war music on, banging drums, really loud banging drum music. There was a picture of a dragon and some soldiers, and me and my mum couldn't speak to each other because it was so loud nobody could speak. So for 2 hours went by, and I'd had cups of tea. Mum had cooked me a hot mince pie. Dad went into the lavatory, and then Mum questioned me again, and she went, "Your dad used to hit me when you were young." And I said, "Yes, Mum." And she looked at me as if I was to blame, and I turned around and said, "Mum, well, you know, I was a kid. How am I supposed to stand up to a 6'2" chap when I'm a little girl?" And I said, "Mum, when I was 16, I did ask you to leave my father, and you kept saying you wanted to stay." Because I remember going up to the hospital with a big bar of chocolate. Every time someone tries to help my mother, she goes back. So she says all these things about my dad and whatnot, and then when someone tries to go to help her, and they offer her everything. They've offered her refuges, they've offered her help with equipment, you know, washing machines and stuff, and she won't accept it. Nobody can help somebody that won't accept help. And she's carried on in this circle ever since I've known my mother. And in my opinion, she's just as bad as him, because she let us kids suffer and she did nothing about it. And yet she moans and complains about him. She cooks his dinner, she feeds him, she looks after him, and he's supposed to be horrible to her. So I don't know what to do. You can't force somebody to do something. I just think that she must like it. I mean, she goes around telling neighbours things about my dad while he's sat in the living room. But she won't do anything about it. She's been offered tons of help. When I didn't get any help, when I was suffering domestic abuse, I was left to fend for myself. She's been offered all sorts of help. She just doesn't take it. Anyway, that's enough of that. That frightened me. It was like she was blaming me for Dad when I was younger and I was a kid. How can a child defend herself against a 6'2" bloke? So I sat down and ignored that. Then we had dinner. We had barbecued prawns, bubble and squeak and beans. I did. My dad was breathing very erratically. He was going very bad breathing. I said to my mum, "Why is Dad breathing like that? You shouldn't be breathing like that when you're at rest and you're sat down." She was giggling at the sink. laughing her head off, saying almost Dad deserves what he gets. So what is she? The police? She's punishing Dad for something that happened years ago. She's punishing me for something my dad did. I don't know. Well, I was scared. Um, so I watched a film, Princess in Love, about Princess Diana and James Hewitt, after I'd put a film called Cleat on, which was about a man murdering prostitutes in tartan skirts because it was Scottish. And I have a tartan miniskirt myself, so that scared me. I was given £10 for the taxi fare, and very, very jolly taxi driver kept talking all the way back to Lansdowne Court. Mum had ordered the taxi for Crystal Alice Marshall, me, and got out £7, £3 change out of the tenner. But hopefully things won't be as bad as last week when I found myself eating pea green soup and old things out of the cupboard. What else can I say? Got back in the flat, somebody kept slamming doors, and I'll read what I wrote in my diary last night in a minute. I went out in the dark after 6 o'clock to check no one had stolen the remaining money out of my bank account, whereupon a man walked past me and went, ugh! And then I went past the Prince of Wales pub. 2 women came out intoxicated, one with a crutch, talking about a dog. So I went straight back home. I checked my money and went back home. I don't drink and I don't smoke.